me just get back on here. Don't click off that.
Okay, I think we're online here.
Maybe. It's starting. Live.
You set up over there and then let me know when it's up.
I'm looking. Oh. You're live.
Do you see me? Everyone out there on the internet, do you see me? I'm here. I'm live. I'm a real person instead of just the person who you can hear every week. My internet says zero people watching right now. Okay, so I suspect that most people are going to watch this live, not live, this live stream not live, and then catch it in their time zone as a regular YouTube video. But just to let you know, we are going to be moving over to the live stream as our weekly format. This makes it a little bit more fun, I think, and a little bit more interactive for everybody. Oh, look at that. We got a whole bunch of people typing stuff in. Oh, man. Derek and I will both be typing on the company account, so I'll be prefacing my comments with the A, so you know you're not Derek. Yep. Okay, so I got, this is my first time, so this is a little bit weird for me. I've got a computer in front of me. You can see the mouse there. We have a link down here at the bottom, but you can't actually click on it. You have to type it in yourself. And so this video is going to be the auction picks video, and you can pick your auction picks by going to that link and then typing into the chat the auction number. And so like USS Tokyo 45673 or something like that. Don't put the link in there though. I mean, you can put the link if you want. Other people will be able to click on that link and then go see the listing, but I won't be able to click on that link because my computer is separate from the computer that manages that. And so if you want it to come up on this screen here, then you have to click the, or like put in the auction number. I'll write it in here like that, and then do a search, and this is exactly how you would do it if you come to this one. There are no auction numbers for that number. And usually we do no USS picks, but this time we're going to allow USS picks, and I'm just not going to display them on the screen here. So if you do want me to translate a USS auction, put in like USS Tokyo and the number, and then I'll do the translation for you, and then you people who are watching, you people, then you can check it out yourself on your computer. USS the Auction House doesn't allow us to do that on a live broadcast like that. But hopefully they'll allow us to at least talk about their cars, because I don't think that there's anything that they would get angry at. We'll see. This is going to be the first time. If they do, you may be watching this video with blurred out sections. I'm not too sure. Audio blur out. Beep, beep, beep. It's going to sound like I'm swearing an awful lot. And then this is also going to be open for questions. So if you wanted to ask us a question, then you can do that too. It's going to be a little bit difficult for me to be on camera while watching the comments, but I guess that's what everybody on the internet does.
I'll let you know when you need to jump in.
And there's like a 10-second delay between what I say and when you guys hear it too. And so it's not exactly synced up, which I thought that it kind of would be after watching a few people stream, but I guess not. Okay, before we get into that, then I'm going to go over last week's auction picks, so you can see on the screen here. This one here was the 911, and I thought that this one was going to, before we get into it, these are all US dollars. Because this is a live stream and I'm not that good at math, then I think that I'm going to be speaking all in yen, and then you can convert to US dollars. At the moment it's like $1 is how much yen?
About 110.
110? Yeah, so what you can do is you take the Japanese number, cut off 2 zeros, and then minus 10% off of that. It roughly gives you how much the amount is in US dollars if you want. For future ones, we're kind of thinking about having the exchange rate like somewhere here on the screen for you to kind of see real time, but I don't know. I don't really know how to do this internet stuff. First one, okay, so my guess on this one was just over $39,000. It turned out that it didn't sell for that much. This one was $29,830, and so seems like a pretty good deal for this. It is an SC model, in case you missed the video last time, but it does have a pretty ugly front bumper on it and fender flares that are going to be optional whether you like them or not. And not really for me. for a 911. I prefer as narrow a body as possible in one of these old ones. Next one here. This one was a first generation CRX. And my guess for... I was way off with this one. But that's how auctions go sometimes, right? I guess on this one 13,300. And it sold for 5,500. And this includes the Mugen wheels and 117,000 kilometers, 5-speed, and it's the SI model. So I think that whoever bought that got a good deal on it. Next one here, S2000. And this is weird because this is the first time that I'm checking my own prices. Usually Andrew does all of the checking of the prices. He's here beside me. Are you reading the comment? I can see him laughing. I haven't read.
Z-Wang's comment.
What did he say?
Notice me, senpai.
Oh. Okay, I will notice you. Senpai. That's funny. That's an internet thing, right? That's a PewDiePie thing. Notice me, senpai. In case you didn't know, senpai is what Japanese people call people who are in authority over them in high school. Like if you're in a club or something, then the person who's older than you in the club would be considered your senpai, and the person who's younger is like, what is it? Yohai?
Kohai.
Kohai? Yeah, like that. So this stream is going to teach you some Japanese. Incorrect Japanese, though. Okay.
No bad words. We're not teaching bad words. Not intentionally.
Yeah. Okay, so Honda S2000 here. My guess on this one was 9,800 and it sold for 12,590. Sold for a little bit more than I thought, but the gray ones typically will sell for a little bit less, but maybe the hard top on it made it sell for a little bit more because the hard top is pretty rad. Next one here from last week's video. Toyota Crown. This one went unsold, and I'm sorry. The last one went unsold. This one actually did sell. So I guessed on this one $1,250 US, and it sold for 1,880, which is pretty good for 1JZ inline 6-cylinder 2.5 liter turbo. Pretty good rear-wheel drive wagon. I would have paid that much for that one, I think. Next one is a Volvo with questionable aero kit and lowered. Alright, but still pretty rad. This one I guessed, wow, sold for that little? I guessed $1,070 and it sold for $290. Wow, and there's nothing even wrong with it. Look at that. Well, nothing major. The rear hatch damper doesn't work. Oh no. Oh, no wonder it only sold for $290. Okay, Toyota Classic. This one was a super big guess on this because they only made 100 of these and they are super duper rare, so sellers kind of get their own market for these, and it's gone unsold previously plenty of times. You can click on this one here to see the sold history. You can see it's been at auction many times and has not sold, so the person was just waiting for somebody to overpay, and then once again this week they didn't overpay, and so it went unsold. So my guess was 26,790 US dollars, and it went unsold with a high bid of 27,140. So basically it's been consistent the entire time. Okay, on to the next one. Whoa. This one here is the new Supra. In case you didn't know, that's what I'm going to be calling it from now on. No, I realize it's not actually the new Supra, but it could be, right? If they actually made the same design with changed the front section here into a more Supra looking front end, I think this could have been a fairly successful looking Supra. And my guess on this was 89,200, and it went unsold with a high bid of 80,810. Okay, next one here was a Tuscan, a TVR Tuscan. And they're not good cars, but I love them, which I think more people need to admit that they love cars that are not good. I guessed on this one 23,200, and then it sold for 18,300. So less than I thought that it would. On to the next one. I was super off on this. Third generation Skyline. And I think last week I said I don't really care for the looks of it, but sold for 1980 Skyline. I guessed $7,000 and it sold for $12,500. So way off there. Gonna have to seppuku time. Nissan 180 SX Type X. This one here is the one that I was really too hard on last week. I shot those last videos, like they were pre-recorded, right? But there was no editing at all in them, and so I just spoke for 45 minutes and then threw it up, and no editing. And sometimes you wish that you could take back things that you say. Now we're on live stream and we don't get a chance to take back things that I say. So, yikes! I'm scared. I guess that this one would sell for $5,180, and at that price wouldn't it be a good deal, but everyone else agreed with me. It wasn't in good condition despite the looks on it, and went unsold with a high bid of $3,210. Next one here, City Bus, and we don't have the auction sheet anymore. You can see the price up here, and you can go down to the this one, auctioned up, PacificCoastJDM.com, and you can check the history of any of the cars you want by clicking up here. The only thing is some auctions like USS don't provide the sales price of those. They don't allow. It'll say available even though it's not available. It's a question we get asked a lot, but no, not available. This one also went unsold. I guess $3,500 and went unsold with a high bid of $2,170. Sunny Truck, a lovely vehicle. Sunny Truck is, oh, look, I can hide it behind my face. You can't see the Sunny Truck. Look, it's a Derek face conversion. Here in Japan, when you take a face, like the front of another car, and put it onto a car, then they call it a face conversion or a mask. And so this is the Derek mask for the Sunny Truck. I guess that this one would sell for $3,840, and it went unsold for just under $2,000. So a lot of unsold cars last week, it seems. I kind of have a feeling like about 30% of cars go unsold, but of these picks, it seems like about half of them went unsold. And then the last one here, Subaru VVO, which is a small-ish, well, very small, but it's small Impreza-like car. Very cool, and I love them. And here's an update. I told you last week that my friend blew the supercharger on his by going 180 kilometers an hour, and he was like, nope, I was only going 140 when it happened, which for 660cc is kind of fast anyway. But he said it was just the hose that burst, and then so he fixed it with tape, and it's all good now. Duct tape, which is called gum tape in Japan, and that's why in Initial D they call it the gum tape death match. It actually is the duct tape death match. Okay, and I said it would probably sell for $2,680, but it sold for only $1,200 and is in pretty good condition too for that price. And so somebody got a nice car there. Okay, that's it for last week. I got one extra little pick here. I just wanted to show this myself. CAA Chubu here, and this is, take a look, 12,027 original kilometers on this one, and it's a late model. You can tell because of the projector lights, and then it's a 1998, which was the second year of the late model, and different chin spoiler on the late model. So this one, for all intents and purposes, is very similar to the R34 GTR, because the R34, all the benefits and improvements kind of came in the R33 generation before the R34 came in. And so this one here with this low of mileage, 12,027, is really a rarity. Incredible. It says the floor area has been pushed up. That's a weird one. Maybe somebody jacked it up in the wrong spot. Underside surface rust, bumper underside scratched. I don't know if you would need to fix something like that, because the underside being pushed up is something that nobody can see unless you jack up the car. So it depends on how picky you are with your own vehicle. This is nice being live stream, because when I have something to drink, you know why I'm not speaking for a bit. How's the audio? This is our first time using this camera. We bought a camera specifically for it. That's a video and the audio all in one. And so how's the audio coming through? Is the volume good? Let me know in the comments. Andrew will pick that up and let me know how it's going. Maybe make some adjustments. As for price of this one, the R33s are generally selling for right now, between about $2 million and $3 million for most of them. That price is going to go up when they're legal to import to the USA, of course. I don't know how much they're going to go up. They made far fewer of the R33s than they ever did the R32s. And so the R32s went up in value, but they kept going up, 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 up. I'm going the right way, right? Up, 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 up. And I think the R33s are going to have the same thing, even though at the moment, you know, a lot of people give this car flack for looking like a boat. But they're fantastic cars, and the more time that you spend around them, I think the better you're going to appreciate them. Starts at 3.3 million. I think that this one could very well go up to 8 million, which is incredible for a R33. Super incredible. Ooh, original exhaust too. Here's a little bit of information. The R33 has dual exhaust stock, whereas the R32 and R34 both have single exhaust. But it's really just one can and then 2 exits. Anyway, so that's basically all those guys. I'm going to shut these guys down, and we're going to be starting to take questions and questions and auction picks. And then what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of all the ones that we're going through here, and then next week I'll show the results of those ones. You can send in USS picks if you want. If you just got here a few seconds ago, you can send in USS ones, but we're not going to display them on the screen because of copyright. USS doesn't like us doing that.
Everybody says the audio is good. There's a little bit of video lag between the video and the audio, but not terrible. I think we're going to have to live with it with using the setting we're using so people can scrub back through it.
When people say a little bit of audio lag between the audio and the video, how much are we talking about? Maybe
they
somebody
said
can
you
comment.
look like a kung fu movie sometimes, so not terrible.
I kind of look like a
good.
kung fu movie guy sometimes anyway. That's it. Speaking of which, the Cobra Kai movie, YouTube series, I'm super excited to watch that. Unfortunately, no YouTube Red here. And so everybody, you need to go check that out if you're into kung fu, or if you I was born in 82. That the original Karate Kid came out in 84, I think. Do you know, Andrew?
I do not remember.
I think it was early 80s, like before
Early
85.
to mid. Yeah.
And I didn't watch that movie until I was like 18, and then loved it. You know, when you're growing up, and that was a popular movie like that, and RoboCop, and the first Terminator, and you know, they're movies that everybody knows the characters of, but I hadn't seen it for a while. But after I had seen it, loved it, and I think probably could appreciate it more as an adult watching it than as a kid. I mean, it would have came out when I was 2, but I think most people my age who had seen it were about 7, 8, or 9 or something. Okay, so you got an auction pick for me.
Not yet. Someone says they finished Cobra Kai.
Oh, wow.
I told them no spoilers.
Yeah.
Someone says, where's all the Chorokyus to bid on?
The Chorokyus. We have a pile of them over there. I'm sure I mentioned it in that video, but I'm making a board game. I haven't test played it, but that's why I bought the cars for it. I want to test play the game a few times and work out some kinks before I actually make my own version of the board game. And it's kind of like a simple board game like Candyland. You move around a track. I wish I had it here to show you, but I don't. And each player gets 2 cars, and then you choose which one of those 2 cars to move, and then you can land on stars, and you get cards, and the cards allow, like, you keep a deck of cards in your hands, and you get to play one each time that you decide to go. It's a game I designed for my daughter when she was just like starting to learn math, and so the idea of it was to put some math into a board game so that she could practice her math while she doesn't know that she's actually doing anything academic. And so I kind of took some of the academicness out of it to try to make it into a board game that would be enjoyable to most people. Okay, let's go through some auction picks. I see one on the screen here.
LAA Kansai number 57.
So just type it in here, search, and LAA Kansai. Here's something that people need to know. 57, you can see that number is used by multiple auctions. And so if you're sending in just a number, that's not going to cut it. Okay, LAA Kansai here. This here's quite an interesting one because a lot of people know about the Accord Euro R, or it's kind of like a Type R version of the Accord. It's called a CL1. There's another version of it with a different name and different headlights and taillights, and that's this one. It's called the Tornado. In Japanese, it would be Tornado. Tornado Euro R. And so you get the 2.2 liter engine in it. Huh?
Pass me your paper, I'll write picks on it.
123,504 kilometers, and I guess I'll read over the sheet. If you want me to read over everything on the sheet, make a special note about that, and then I will. For the most part, I usually just read off what I think is interesting at the time. This one's not very complicated. If it's some of the sheets are just plastered with text everywhere, and it literally takes 15 or 20 minutes to read everything, and the writing is so small that I'm going to be like this against the computer screen. Don't ask me to read all of that. I can point out some of the big things, but not everything. Okay, so it has a Recaro driver's seat. That's stock on this car. Do we have an interior pic? We don't. So it comes with stock Recaro seats in this, and they look like kind of aftermarket Recaro buckets like seats. Aftermarket Navi, HID lights, steering wheel wear, central locking doesn't work, aftermarket wheels, underside surface rust, rear panel bracket is bent, like somebody hit the back. You can see the trunk has been replaced as well. And scratches on the front bumper, you can kind of see in the picture there. These are small pictures for being a smaller auction. Usually the small auctions have the big pictures. And shift knob has been removed and is in the auction. So it's a pretty good car. I think that the condition of this one is fair. And this is a car that I myself would like to buy. The build quality of it is fantastic. I love the way that these feel and the way that they handle. Overall, very good cars. Oh, are these the next ones that are coming up?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Price-wise, the prices have been trending up. You used to be able to get them for 200,000 yen all day long, but now it seems like it's about 500 is a norm, 600. This one, it's kind of considered higher mileage here in Japan, so I would say we're looking at about 300,000 to 500,000, and if I have to put a number on it, 480,000 yen for this one. Okay, we're going to go for the next one. We got Austin. We got a last name on that? Austin, I think it was W.
Wilkerson.
Austin Wilkerson sent in this one, 3042. Let's go back. How do I use my own website? Itchy nose. What is this? Pollen season. Jesus. I didn't just say Jesus on live stream. I was...
Jesus.
We have a customer named Jesus. What is this? CAA Tokyo. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, wow, nice big pictures here. So it's an ER34 4-door Nissan Skyline. Plenty of modifications. Looks like it's possibly been used for drifting. It has Drifto strap on the front here. Drifto cracks. You know, I bet there are some people who would actually like to have a cracked bumper from Japan so that they can say, my bumper got broken drifting in Japan, and then put like little stitches on with zip ties. Very JDM style. Looks like it's missing side skirts. Wow. This Japanese says Toho Project. I don't know if you guys know about Toho Project. My daughter is really into it, and it's like this otaku kind of like anime thing. I don't even know how you would describe it. People make videos about it. There are video games. It originated as a shooter style video game. Toho Project. It is very nerdy, and I don't say that to be mean, but even people who are into it in Japan admit it's a nerdy thing to be into. You can ask me how happy I am that my daughter's into nerdy things. White bumper on the back. And dealer plates. There's something I don't understand. Why do dealers leave their dealer plates on the cars when they go to auction? Very strange. Okay, the sheet looks like it has lots of damage, like a typical drift car. It's a GTX sedan, so that would be the non-turbo version. Good luck drifting in that. Yeah, well, it's, I don't even know what to say. It's been color changed, engine oil leak. It has an accident damage because it's R grade. Sometimes R grade is okay, sometimes it's pretty trashy. In this case, I would think pretty trashy. It says front side member is dented and has been modified. Left front inner panel has been dented. Front cross member has been replaced. And the exterior has finishing marks, which is kind of like paint burns from like polishing too much. Core support replaced. Seat wrinkles and saggy, interior dirty, undercover's missing. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's the best conditioned car, but it does have racing seats so that you can race your non-turbo 200 horsepower car. Probably less than that, 190 for the non-turbo? 180, 190, something like that. Okay, there it is. Definitely not my kind of car. Look, they drifted so hard that they broke the bolster on the seat here. Whoa! Yeah, that's why they sold the car. I can't drive this anymore. I've broken my side bolster. It is not Drifto anymore. Well, manual transmission. I don't know. 100,000 to 300. I don't know. I mean, the R34s have again gone up in price so much recently, so it's hard to tell. But this one's just. I'm having to real-time censor myself in a way that I never have before, because when it wasn't a live stream, I had the ability to, if I accidentally said something, have that buffer to cut it out. And realistically, we only, I think, cut out one or two things. One thing, maybe?
Maybe. No do-overs.
No do-overs this time. You guys are going to find the profanity accidentally coming out of my mouth. It wasn't that bad. No F words and no SH words. Oh, and look at the modification for for the e-brake. Did you see that? Take a look. It's amazing. It's what are these, hose clamps to put on like a walking stick that has been bent, or like a mop head. Well, at least he has a turbo timer on his non-turbo car. Maybe it's had an engine swap. That's a boost controller there. It doesn't say so though. Might be able to get a turbocharged car when nobody else realizes it, if you paid attention to that. Okay, we got next one coming in. Oh, two from Nippon Imports. I don't know how to pronounce that word. Nippon. 70365. CAA Gifu. Oh, don't do that to me. Don't. It's a Honda City. This is called the City R, which is just the regular City. Now, this one does not have the turbo on it, like my lawn ornament does. It doesn't have the wide fenders, like my lawn ornament has, and it doesn't have the original cool wheels like mine does. These are actually the original wheels on this car, but they're not as cool as my original wheels. Front bumper looks the same, except it's two-tone. I like how it has this parking watch-out pole. It's like, watch out, your car, like you can reach out the window and probably grab the front end of this car, but no, we're going to warn you where that front corner is. And that's extra funny because mine has big scuffs on the front corners too, because somebody wasn't being careful. I think these are awesome cars, even in the non-turbo form. I think that the side view of it just looks so weird and so strange. And the fact that these were the cars that the Motocompo came from, if you don't know what that is, let me check it out for you here. Motocompo. And the Motocompo is the little foldable bicycle that comes in the back of your City. And look at this guy. He's like, I'm just taking it out of the back. It's actually like 57 kilograms, and so it's not really like that. That guy's like, quick, take the picture! Oh! I'm gonna close and clean off my stuff. Here we go. Yeah, cool car. This one has an automatic transmission. It has the asymmetrical grille that makes me happy. And despite this being in my lot and basically doing nothing there, it is still bringing happiness to me because every time I see it, it makes me happy. Okay, 532 kilometers with the star here because it's a 5-digit. Also, they have a history paper in 2007. It's at 137, and 2015 it was at 137, and then 2017 it was at 27,900. And so that's a lot of mileage in just that short amount of time. Wow. Or maybe it was replaced. Maybe the gauges were replaced. I don't know. Excuse me. Seat cigarette burn. Steering wheel wear. Exterior has small scratches and engine oil leak. Has some rust on the pillar here, so be careful. But it doesn't have nearly as much rust as mine has. Not nearly as much. Cool car. Sales price, I'm going to guess about 150 to 300,000 yen. Selling price is 50. And so probably 170 is going to be my final guess on that if I have to pick one number. Okay, Nippon Imports, you sent in 2. I'm sorry, I'm going to give that spot to someone else. You can't send in 2 in a row. That's using up too much time. Got one from Yoani here, TAA Tohoku 5613. I'm actually going to do it this way. 5613. And, whoa, that's a weird one. Andrew, if you have one for USS auctions, could you put a little star next to it or outline it in some way so I don't accidentally bring it up?
Nobody's asked for one yet.
Okay. Okay, so 200 series Celica. You picked this one on purpose, didn't you? Let me try to say it like an American does. Celica. Celica. Yeah, if you're in Japan, you have to pronounce it like a Japanese person, and then nobody can tell me anything. Or, you can't tell me nothing. I'm bringing out my inner Kanye West. An appropriate time to do that with what's going on with him. My gosh. Anyways, it's a Celica, and it's a 1999. SS3 is basically like G in the US, GTS model. Has corrosion on the side sill here. C2 means corrosion. Big dent over here. I wonder if you can see that in the picture. You kind of can. I can see a dent here. You can't really see the dent here. And here's the thing, is a lot of people are like, why does USS have such minuscule poo-poo pictures in it? And the thing is, though, no matter how big the pictures are, these are giant pictures. You can't see damage in pictures the way that you can on the diagram. And so never trust the pictures. Something can look really super amazing here, but then if you look here, it's like B4. Replaced fender back here. It's been in an accident. Exterior's D, interior C. It's 5-speed. It's the model that nobody wants. They make a turbo 4-wheel drive version of this, but this is the non-turbo front-wheel drive version. And so really nothing that special, except it does have the high risers on the back here, which is a GT4 optional piece. And I guess for the final generation of this, you could get these in the SS models, SS2 and SS3, and the spats and stuff. I think it's really cool. I think it's a great idea. You just take the regular spoiler, and then you make these little blocks, and then it turns into a picnic table. It's excellent. I love it. And this one also, it has the late model headlights, which I think the US never got with the projectors in it. So those aren't aftermarket. That's original. Okay. Got my next one. Andrew.
Oh, sorry.
Zay Wang, 23098. Is that right? Mitsubishi Dignity VIP. This one is VIP. Everyone watch out. People always think about that. The VIP, the Japanese style of tuning that includes the big wheels and a black car. They always call it VIP. In Japan, it's actually, they say VIP, like they're reading the word. Or in Japanese, it would be pronounced more like bippu, like that, because the V is not in Japanese, it's a B instead. Yeah, so basically this is a Mitsubishi rebadged of a Nissan Fuga, and I don't know what the Fuga is called when it is in America, but they sell this car there, don't they?
I'll give you $5.
Can I see that? Oh, I know who that is, too. I'm so glad that it was Derek that sent that in. Pause everything here about the Fuga. I just got free money, and I didn't think that this was actually going to be a real thing. Thank you, Derek, so much for sending that in. I actually caught your very first live stream, and if you guys want, check out Simnit Nutrition. If you want to get into bodybuilding like me, you can definitely tell. Look, see those muscles? That's me after seven months of working out. But he does like a nutrition / bodybuilding, how to get gains if you're a vegan, because you get less protein, or that's what people think. Thank you for watching. I think that's pretty rad that you're watching this, and I'll be watching your videos too. And I'm waiting for you to give me that shirt. Oh, and speaking of shirts, I'm going to strip my shirt off today. You didn't know this was happening, did you, Andrew? Look at this.
Thankfully, no.
It's stripping time. This is banned from YouTube, but it's actually not, because I'm not going to strip it down to be naked. That would be, nobody wants to see that. Look at this. I'm repping the merch from the Wasabi Cars today, and I wore this. Oh, how do we put that in the center? A lot of people don't know that Wasabi Cars has merch because he doesn't like to talk about it, but Daniel's a super nice guy, and I think that you should buy stuff from nice people. And so if you're watching this and you've been thinking, I want a shirt with an RX-3 on it, then you can swing by the Wasabi Cars and you can pick up a shirt. And so please do that. I kind of thought that the camera would be able to see it the whole time. I'll just have to, how do we boost this up? There we go. And if I sit back here, then you can see it. Is this camera zoomed in?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe next time not zoomed in, but go buy a shirt. It doesn't cost you much and it helps a lot. People who make YouTube videos don't really make any money off of them, really, unless you are extremely, extremely big on YouTube. And so the only way for people to get money is through merchandise and advertising. And people seem to hate advertising, and so go buy a t-shirt. Okay, so I don't know what the Fuga is called in America. Maybe somebody in the chat will let me know. It's basically like a 5 Series size. Infiniti in America, Nissan here. It's also called the SEMA. For some reason it has, no, the SEMA is 1 level up. We are live. Not a bad car, nothing special really, except for they probably didn't sell too many of these in Mitsubishi branding, and so that would be a little bit cool to have that. I wonder if you have the Mitsubishi brand badge on the back, if it rusts faster because of that. But actually that doesn't make a lot of sense, because after Mitsubishi the most rusting of cars are Nissans, and so maybe this double rusts. Don't buy it. 125,930 kilometers on here. It has a drive recorder. The body is in good condition, steering wheel wear, shallow scratches on the outside, underside, rock chip scratched, various. I can't stop thinking about the $5. Wow. Thank you. My shirt's on the table.
Pick up drop off at 12.
At 12?
Yeah, I'll get it.
Okay.
If you want to go for an hour, I can take off like at 10 till.
All right, that's cool. How far are we all on here? I mean, in terms of time.
Oh,
elapsed time 37 minutes.
37.
Wow, time goes by quickly. Okay, what else do we got here? Oh, price for this one. I don't know how much these sell for. I would guess, considering the market position and the age, you're probably looking at around 180 to 260, somewhere in there. His name is Doge? Like Doge? Like the dog? I guess they're not real names, are they? I got a whole list of almost real names and one company name, and then Doge is here. Okay, JAA 27022.
Nippon Import says Derek is going to blow that $5 on a McRib.
No, I have actually stopped eating McDonald's. Not completely, but I used to eat it like 3 or 5 times a week, and now I am doing salads because of Simnet Nutrition. Not exclusively, but my wife's wondering why I keep watching those videos. I guess it's kind of like people on this channel. There are some people who just love to watch the videos, which otherwise I don't know. There are a lot of good things to watch on YouTube. This is me promoting my brand. Okay, so it's BMW soft top 645 Ci Cabriolet, walled arrow on it. I guess that's kind of cool. H&R down suspension, which is probably the best company for Euro cars in terms of suspension. Raised wheels, pretty crazy. Weird looking exhaust on that. We have sold like 3 of these, maybe 2. I think that they're good cars, but being somebody who likes small cars, I just can't get into the size of a 6 Series. Too big for me. Even the SL is too big. I'm more of an SLK or C63 kind of person when it comes to the, like the size, or Golf R32. Dealer trade-in car. seat side saggy, shallow scratches, steering wheel wear, and rear undercover 1-part cut and modified. Body is in excellent condition with only 20,000 kilometers, and it's a 2004. That mileage doesn't seem too low. A lot of people who buy cars like this, it's going to be as a second car for people who never drive, and so it's very easy to get really low mileage, good condition German cars here. And we get a lot of people wondering why so many German cars go back to Europe, and that's the reason why. You get such good condition cars here in Japan, and the value is definitely there. Price wise on this, we're starting price of 300,000. I could see this somewhere around like 600 to 700,000. I'm not too sure though. It's been a very long time since I've looked at prices of these. But with the modifications, that's going to keep the price down, in fact. So if you do like a modified 6 Series, go for one with the modifications already on it, because a stock one will sell for more. Okay, what do we got next? Oh, I need a pen or something to cross these off.
I hear Naoko.
Yeah, she does exist. Naoko doesn't like to go on camera, but she you might have been able to hear her there. She said, "I don't exist," or she says, "Doesn't exist." That's
Nippon Import says, "Voice of an angel."
Yeah.
It's true. We love Naoko.
Yeah.
In any way that you can think of it.
Naoko is the reason everybody gets their cars.
Yeah.
Be nice to Naoko.
4049 by Justin. Are you taking a look at the cars first to see if they're rad?
Nope.
Okay.
Most people are just giving the
J.U.
auction
Kumamoto.
and number.
Yeah,
Not-
make sure
not
you
saying
tell
what
us
they
the
are.
auction. Oh,
Most of them are just saying like location number.
I see. Okay, so what do we got here? K-Truck? Is there anything special about this? It's a Sumbar, and I guess the specialness of the Sumbar is that the engine is in the back. It's really weird. You open up this cover here, and there's a sideways engine slotted in there. And then usually the K-Trucks have the engine either close to the front axle or somewhere in the middle, like an Acti does, but this one has it right at the back. I like them. I suppose they're the most comfortable of all the K-Trucks, but the K-Trucks are so similar that it doesn't really matter that much. I think you have the most amount of room in a Sumbar compared to any of the other ones too, and K-Trucks are pretty tight. This one's a no-claim car. You can see the giant stamp here, and it basically means there's no inspection on this one. The car is junk, and so don't bother buying it for the most part. So I think it'll sell for pennies. I think it's going to be 15,000 yen. And there could be a problem with it. With a no-claim car, they don't do an inspection. There may be issues with the car. There may be engine or transmission or rust issues or something. You just never know. So, how much did I say? 15,000? That might even be a little bit high for this. Okay, Justin, shing, your name has been crossed out. Raul sent in 20204 from USS Yokohama. I'm going to do this one onto the laptop. You guys can follow along if you go to auction.pacificcoastjdm.com.
Where are you calling from, and what do you looking to import? What are you
Because
looking
it's
for,
a
rather?
USS car, and USS said, we are going to take your license
Okay.
away if you show our cars. And I'm like, this is advertising for your company, so why don't you like to do it?
Okay.
And they said,
Okay.
nobody
open
argues
one,
with
two.
us. Nobody.
Yeah, okay.
And we
Definitely
said,
help you get one of
okay,
those.
so we had to delete a lot of videos off of our channel. Oh, okay, so this one here, in case you're not following along on a computer, maybe you're on a mobile device,
Okay.
and multitasking is kind of difficult for you. Let me explain what we're seeing here. It's a Mazda RX-7 Type R, super heavily modified. We have lowered suspension. We have big 18-inch wheels on it. It has a turbo conversion to a T7834D.
Those are
That's a
used for
huge
gasoline
turbo
or
for
diesel?
this vehicle, and so
Yeah, the one you're going to be looking for.
it makes it a risky
Mexico
one. I think that these engines handle
Either
boost really well
35W.
until they don't, and you end up losing compression over time, and
eliminate the gasoline.
it really depends on how long this build has been around for.
I'd
I'd like a stand for my laptop. This is kind of weird seeing me looking down.
Either W is going to be a high roof with a diesel engine and four-wheel drive.
There are a lot of notes, so I'm not going to translate everything, but it has the turbo. It has 900cc injectors times 4.
They can go.
Boost controller. It uses a
V
V-Pro. V-Pro and a Power FC. That's weird. I wonder why you would do that. Maybe somebody in the chat knows why you would do an HKS V-Pro computer as well as the Apex I Power FC computer. That seems strange to me. The writing is really tiny, really tiny. It says 525.7 horsepower, or PS, and so that would be like 510 horsepower at the wheels. Whoa. It's a cool car, but it may need a complete rebuild of its build, and it's easier to take a stock car and then build it, because you know everything. You don't know if any shortcuts have been taken. You don't know how this was built, and so if you get a modified car, it may need to be redone. And on one side, it's expensive to get that done and a little bit difficult, but secondly, you have a bunch of parts already, and so this could be a good way to build a high horsepower car, or you can drive it around until it blows and then build it from there.
Yeah, it's a pretty standard.
This one is a 1992, so it's importable to the USA, and so that means it's going to be expensive. I'm thinking 1.5 to 2.2 million yen. And let's leave that computer open. All right. Picking one price, I'd say like a 1.95, because the modifications on it, people are going to love that. They won't know how risky it is to buy a car that's like that, so they won't take that into consideration. They're going to end up buying a car that could very well be a problem. And so that's something that if I had a customer that's bidding on that, I would absolutely want to tell them that beforehand. Depending on how much you know. Like usually we know our customers pretty well, and if it is a customer that we've dealt with a number of times, we know who's into a car like that without getting a warning, most likely. Okay, I hope it's not too noisy. We have both Andrew and Naoko on the phone right now. Okay, next one here from Wolfie, 2061, Nissan Osaka.
Yeah.
2061. Osaka.
Okay.
What is this? That's interesting.
Yeah,
I have a little story to go along with Premieras. When I first got into cars, what really, like I was a little bit interested when I was in high school, but it was really the year after I graduated, grade 12, I got a copy given to me of Gran Turismo 2 from a guy that was
you want to try and like stay at
still a really good friend of mine.
Maybe up to, like, 140.
And I was wondering what I was going to say about this person. I don't think you're watching, but if you are, give me a thumbs up in the chat there. And so I played Gran Turismo 2 like crazy amounts. It might have been the year before graduation.
Between 3.5 and 3, there can be a pretty big drop.
I still graduated.
3.5 is usually in pretty good shape.
Okay, so when I
when
first started playing that game, I didn't really know much about the physics of cars. This was back when I was 17-ish years old, and I found that the rear-wheel drive cars, once you gave them more power, were unable to handle that power, or I was unable to handle it. And so I always liked front-wheel drive cars, and my favorite car in the game was a Primera, because it's front-wheel drive, you can't get too much horsepower out of it, and it handles really well compared to the other cars. And so the Primera is similar to a G20.
Yeah.
It's a twin cam 2-liter, and they're really good cars that I think are undervalued. I don't think they get enough credit for how good that they are. They handle extremely well for being a front-wheel drive car. They have 4 doors, and they have a generally cool engine. I think the same chassis is used for the Bluebird, and then the Bluebird you can get with an SR20 240 horsepower in the SSS version of it.
All right, take care.
Auction sheet time, 1997, Primera, auction rate R, interior C, exterior C, pretty high mileage at 153,389. Cracked front windshield. This is an auction sheet that's weird. Nissan Osaka, very small auction. And small auctions generally have better prices, and so if you're looking for a deal, go for the smaller auctions. On the flip side, bigger auctions usually have the better cars, so that's true. Dashboard has screw holes in it. Oh no, dashboard has a hole. It's probably like the, yeah. They're talking about this. where your CD player goes. And that's fine because the Japanese CD players usually feel very outdated to me. Door mirror, electric folding section doesn't work, engine doesn't work properly, and puffs white smoke. This is the reason why you need to get good translations of these sheets, because if you look at the picture, you don't see any white smoke at all. It looks like the car isn't even on, possibly. Let's see if we can see that. In this picture, the car wasn't on. So yeah, white smoke out the tailpipe, and tachometer doesn't work, and engine oil leak, and body aftermarket wheels scratched. Oh, they don't know if it's the original body color? It says it's original here. I don't know what they mean here. It's something body color. I can't read one of the letters. Excuse me. Yeah, it's not going to sell for a lot. Broken engine, and Primeras are like $200, $500 cars anyway, with the automatic. And so it starts at $10,000. That's basically all they're looking for, is somebody to click a button and then get their $100 and then maybe sell the wheels, sell the front bumper. It's an aftermarket front bumper on it. Are you going now?
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm not getting a McRib, Bill. I'm going to the lot.
So we're at 50 minutes here for the picks. I'm going to do one more pick here, and then I'm going to open it up to questions so that we can kind of do this video like a question videos that we used to do when I was driving in my purple Legacy. Thumbs up to anyone out there who remembers that. I wish I had a way to thumbs up for you guys. Like, I think it's cool that you're watching my video. How many people are watching right now?
66. Peak was 84.
Mostly only people who are interested to see if it is crap. I shouldn't say crap on video, if it is poo-poo. Okay, the last one here then, J Paradise. I know who that is too. See, it's all my friends. It's my mom. I bet she's on here. And all my friends from high school who want to see how good I'm doing now. I'm not coming to that reunion. I think. Okay. Cool. Evo 5 in stock condition. Everything. Okay. So there's a few things that we can. Oh, look at that steering wheel. Okay. So the Evo 5 comes with Oz wheels, and I am in love with Oz wheels because I have them on my own car. And I think they're good value for money, and I think that they look good. But these ones kind of look like OEM style, you know, like Nissan, or not, I'm sorry. Mitsubishi designed them, and then Oz just manufactured them for them. Front bumper for the Evo 5 has the circular lights on the inside of the duct. The Evo 6 has the lights on the outside of the duct. Evo 5 also has a spoiler with one level here, and then the second level is flat on the top of the trunk, whereas the 6 has the spoiler that is raised above the trunk. And so those are your visual cues. There are some differences between them mechanically. I don't really know because I think that they're so close between each other. I think that they changed the turbo and they modified some things to give it a little bit more performance, because that was a really good time. I think that the time when Subaru and Mitsubishi were fighting for the best rally car, that's really how you make really good cars. And I kind of wish that there was more like motorsports, that they used real cars instead of using like race cars, tube frame, chassis, whatever engine that they want. If you race with real cars, the unfortunate downside is that accidents happen and those cars aren't as safe, but it really pushes the development of the vehicles, not only for performance cars, but for every type of car, I think. And then you get some really rad cars that 10 years later, 20 years later down the road, the manufacturer can be very proud of, and it can bolster their brand image. And I really think that Toyota dropped the ball on that, because in the 80s, they were like, we're so boring, we are toaster vehicles, we're going to make some important and interesting vehicles, and they did, and it was awesome. But then from like 1998 until like the BRZ and FRS, they basically didn't make that many interesting cars at all. And now people don't love Toyota in the same way that people of my generation adored Toyota. Okay, condition-wise, it's a 1998 Lancer Evolution GSR. They make a GSR and an RS version. The RS is the stripped-down version of it, with a little bit different pieces, a little bit faster. But the GSR is most of them and is more comfortable because you get the power windows and you get the nice seats and you get The Brembo brakes, kind of weird. The RS comes with the bad brakes, but it was made for people like a racing company to take the car and then modify it to spec for racing. And then the Brembo brakes that are on this are good, but they're kind of prosumer grade instead of like professional grade. I also cut out all sugary drinks, so it's only water for me. I had Mountain Dew on Saturday. I went to Costco and I drank a sip of my son's Mountain Dew. Good parenting there. Give your 6-year-old handicapped child some Mountain Dew. And it didn't taste very good to me. I was like, I can't drink this anymore. I'm an old guy now. I only drink water. And to all those people who are like, I can't drink water, it doesn't taste good at all to me, get over it and start drinking it. If that's the only thing you tell yourself, I'm only going to drink water, and then you drink water and then it's done. Don't complain about it. You sound really dumb to me. Okay, question time, and Andrew's not here. He's doing a pickup at the lot, and so I'm going to go over the chat here and I'm going to answer the questions myself. Somebody says no, it's got a 4G63. I think he's referring to the Evo on that, but I don't think that I mentioned the engine that this Evo has. Of course, it's a 4G63 from the Galant in 1988 until the Evo 9. They used the same basic 4G63 engine. Nippon Imports says vodka. You can do that if you want. You can also get away with 7-Up and stuff, but I don't drink hard alcohol at all. I don't like the taste of it. I do like drinking beer. I want to get into wine because wine is going to help me with the gains more than beer will, because beer gives me the gains here. Can't see. The gains here from the beers. I'm not a fat person. I'm a skinny fat person. And the reason why I'm so into exercising right now is because once you reach 35, it's like a light switch, and then suddenly you can get fat. But since I'm a skinny person, the fat shows up a lot more than regular people. And so I just want to get rid of that fat. And the working out is really more of a mental thing too, because I find this job to be quite stressful. It has long hours. There's a lot. I mean, you have to be very careful in how you handle the business in general, because it's a small company and our image is very important to us. And so handling disputes or things like that happen, you have to make sure that you do it right. And it causes a lot of stress, I think. And keep that anxiety low, keep that mental up, eat healthy food, stop eating the McRibs. Next comment here. Can I register a 15-year-old Japanese car in Quebec? Not a right-handed drive car. In Quebec, Canada, you can only register left-hand drive cars until they reach 25 years old, and then you're fighting with all the Americans in terms of prices. So if you're a patient person, what you can do is you can buy a car that is 23 or 24 years old. You can bring it to Quebec, and then you can have temp permit if you want to go drive in Ontario, or if you want to go drive in Nova Scotia or New Brunswick. But then once it turns 25 years old, then you can register that vehicle for the road. Low carb for the win, Derek. Yeah, sugar completely is out for me. No more candies. And this is kind of weird, and I have to apologize to everyone. For old schoolers out there, you know that I love Skittles. I'm not eating them anymore. And so if you're one of the many people who send me Skittles as a package, instead you can send me not Skittles, other things. T-shirts. If you have a company and you want to give away free t-shirts. And I'm having this weird little thing with t-shirts, because I went out clothes shopping for the first time in like a year, and I was like really down on t-shirts, especially print shirts. And basically I only wore my office clothes, which is collared shirt and then Dickies pants. And I was frustrated at the fact that I couldn't find any shirts that I liked, like any print shirts that really kind of showed my personality. And I know that there are a lot online, but I couldn't find any in the stores. And I thought, I'm going to go make my own shirt that I want for myself. And so I went and did that. And I guess we're gonna get someone to print it right now. But I made a shirt. It's kind of a nerdy shirt, but I'm kind of a nerdy person. And after that, I was like, I want to get some more shirts. And some of the people that I watch on YouTube, I want to get some of your shirts. So I have been ordering shirts. This is one of them, the one I'm wearing now. Okay, celery by mail from Bill. I don't think that that's legal. What else do we got? Hey Derek, do auction inspectors know if the cars have been accident repaired? Example, is it documented, or do they just assume based on what they see and then give it an R grade? The answer to that, Mitch, is they look at the car and they inspect it for for damage from an accident, and that's how it gets an R grade. Every once in a while, you'll see a car that is given a grade 4, and then at the time that it's inspected, and then between that time and the auction time, which is like 2 or 3 days, it'll change to R, because the auction also does a history check to see if this vehicle has ever gone through auction before and was given an R grade at that time. And so when the cars do get changed a grade like that, you can actually get a cheap price on any of those cars, because it limits some of the bidders, because some bidders who bid through services like AutoServer, you may not be able to bid on those cars anymore. So you can get a little bit of a cheaper price because of the change. And sometimes you get a change like an hour before the auction time, which is really frustrating, because for a company like us, we need to get back to the customer and they get back to us before we can put the bid in if it's something like an accident. And so we miss out on a lot of bids because we don't have enough time to get back to the customer because of time zones and stuff like that. Okay, how risky is it? This one from Cassisil. How risky is it buying an RX-7 from auction? Rotary probably is the worst engine to get with little info. Some RX-7 sellers will put the compression numbers into the auction sheet if they know that it's good. I would say with personal experience, you get good compression on about half of them, and then the other half is not good compression, but the car can still run and can still perform really good. It just runs weaker. And it's still pretty far from being a dead car, but it's on the road. And the problem with the RX-7 is mileage doesn't matter so much as how the last owner took care of the car. And so if they weren't doing oil changes properly and it ran low on oil, or the engine ran too hot, you can wear out the rotary tips a lot faster that way. And so it is a riskier car. Usually we can tell with our new customers, we get a sense of how much they know about cars, and if they're I hate to say it, but if you are a person who doesn't know that much about cars and you think you know an awful lot about cars, we're generally a little bit more careful with you. But at the end of the day, as a bidder, it's your responsibility to bid on things, and if you win a car, even if it's one that we as a company know is going to be a risky car, it's not really our responsibility to remind you of that risk, because, you know, I don't want to have somebody say, you didn't tell me that this is risky. But we try to hold your hand if we can. We don't know exactly what you know about cars, though, and most of our buyers are experts, and so it's really easy for somebody to not be informed of a certain specific problem with a certain car, even if we know about it. So hopefully that answers it. Okay, Nippon Imports. You don't have anything to do, do you? It says Yanni or Laurel. First time I heard it, I was in the Yanni team, but I think that this is a dishonest thing. I think what they did is they took a word and then they changed the pitch to the point where they know half people are only going to be able to hear one or the other. It's not like the actual recording of it is not the original recording, and if you do hear the original recording of it, it says Laurel. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, I don't know how you could, but yeah, go look it up. Tanner Bear says, yeah, you don't know shit about cars. Oh! First live stream swear, but it's not my fault. It's Tanner's fault. Okay. I think here's something I could talk a little bit about. Not specifically about Tanner here, but knowledge of cars is a funny thing, because in order to know an awful lot about cars, you need to have a lot of experience with cars, and this experience can come in the form of reading things that you've read online, or hanging out with other car people, or your own personal experience with cars and what's happened with those cars. And I think that because the combination of knowledge comes from these three things, you don't, like, the average person gets trapped into kind of these mental problems with information when it comes to cars. If you get the information from the internet, there's a lot of wrong information on the internet. Likewise, when you talk to another person, a lot of people like to think that they know more about cars than they actually do. And then the last one, when it comes down to personal experience, this is an important one too, because some people will own one car, and that one car will have a problem, and then they will assume that that problem is a problem area with that car. And I think we see that quite a bit as well. Car people like to feel like they know a lot about cars, and so they like to push their knowledge, and they like to compete against one another and that sort of thing. And so I get a lot of people telling me that I don't know SHIT about cars, and that's true in a very specific section of the car universe. I know a very wide amount of information about lots of different cars, but there are lots of pieces of information that other people know that I don't know. And I think that it's a logical fallacy to think that because I don't know a piece of information that you know, or I'm incorrect about a piece of information, that that means that I don't know SHIT about cars. To give you some understanding of this, when I do this, when I do the internet, I mean, we've been in business for 10 years here, and I was a car enthusiast before that for at least 20 years. And I have probably translated over 20,000 of these auction sheets, and we have sold, I think, over 2,000 cars now. And this is a very specific type of skill that we get from this, because you can see the auction sheets tell you a lot of the major problems or reoccurring problems in cars. If you see head gasket is blown, and you just keep seeing this over and over and over again on the sheets, this gives you real world experience knowing that the head gasket is a weak point in the car. And so this kind of, my position gives me a unique ability to understand common weaknesses. And then also I get to see the auction sheet, and then I get to see the car when it lands, and so I have a unique ability to see also how the auction sheet translates into the condition of the car, which I think is, for a lot of people, it's something that they think that they know more than they do. You know, people say that stupid people think that they know more than they do, and smart people think that they know less than they do. I don't really know where I'm going with this, but I do get told a lot that I don't know a lot about cars. I think, considering my experience, I do know a lot about cars, but you can't know everything. And I'll admit when I don't know something about cars, and I'll be wrong about some things because I've learned from somebody who didn't know what they were talking about. And that happens a lot, and it happens with me too. I'll say something, someone will repeat it, and it'll be something that's wrong. And for that, you just have to be honest with yourself about it, and don't go around telling people that they don't know about cars. Okay, who's trolling? Somebody sent that in. Oh, this message has been held for reviews. Oh, Nippon Imports, you need to stop with the profanity. And yeah, please, I can see what you're writing there. Probably the public can't see that. I would probably not go down that rabbit hole. Let's find something else here. Hi Derek, what do you think about small vans like Daihatsu Atrai 7 or Toyota Light Ace? Are these worth buying, or should we stick to High Ace, L300 and L400? The Light Ace is an industrial vehicle, and so therefore it acts like an industrial vehicle. I would prefer that you go with a High Ace or a Delica over a Light Ace or an Atrai. Personally, they are more comfortable and they're built for people. The High Ace has two versions of it. They have the industrial version called the van version, and they have the commuter version or the passenger version that's called the wagon version. And so if you go with the wagon version, it'll be comfortable, but then you limit your load that you can put into the back of it as well. Oh, somebody says CRAP, I only hear Laurel. It depends on your ears and how sensitive you are to different frequencies. If you hear Yanni, that means that your brain can hear higher pitched sounds better. And if you can hear Laurel, then that means that your brain hears lower pitched sounds. And as you age, it goes from this side to this side. And so if you are a Yanni person like I am now, 5 or 10 years, you might be a Laurel person. Okay, what else do we got? James C. says, why do people bother importing cars that are available in their own country, such as Lexus LS400? That comes down to market position, how much the car costs in Japan and how much it costs in your country. What's the ratio of good condition cars to bad condition cars in your country, and what is it in Japan? And those are the two major things. In most cases, a car in Japan is going to cost less than most other countries by at least a little bit, if not a significant amount. And then the other one is probably one of the biggest reasons that people in Europe bring in cars from Japan is because the condition of the cars is generally much better, with lower mileage, better repair history, because here in Japan you have to repair the car every 2 years in order to pass the inspection, in order to get your registration so that you can put the car on the road. Okay, we're probably over an hour now, an hour and 10 minutes. So we're going to close up this one here. To those people who liked this video, we're going to be doing it once every week from now on. And special thanks to Mr. Simnit from Simnit Nutrition for sending in $5 for us. That's super rad. I kind of expected there would be $0 sent in, but go check out his channel if you're into veganism or working out or just listening to somebody who's positive, because for me that's a big thing. Part of the reason why I like to listen to it. Anyways, we're going to shut down now. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll try to figure out how to stop streaming here. Okay, all done. Bye-bye.